This is Jeremy, and I'm going through a book on Audible right now called A Lifelong Love by Gary Thomas, and it's actually a follow-up to one book that I had gone through before called Sacred Marriage. Sacred Marriage is looking at what it means to have a marriage that is based in God's love and God's divine providence, and really what marriage should be looking like. And I really appreciate everything that Gary Thomas says, but for me, the Sacred Marriage was really dry. It had a lot of great insights, but it was just another marriage book. It wasn't necessarily anything that was really big for me in my progress as far as looking at my marriage. It was one we were doing a small group on, and so there was a lot of great discussions that would come of it, but it was hardly based in the actual process of what the book was about. So then there's A Lifelong Love, and it's a follow-up to the Sacred Marriage, which actually looks at how to do marriage and how to be able to achieve that. And so for me, this is taking it a step further in the way of being practical in the process. So the other one was much more theological, much more abstract in the expectations, and this one actually goes to the application of it, which now that I'm reading through it and discussing what that is, I think that this was actually a better application for a small group than the first one was, which is more of a classroom seminary type of a book. But for me, one of the big things that he came out of it so far in the book is he talks about the idea that we have lust for expectations. And so it's not necessarily a lust of wanting to have sex with our spouse or a lust of wanting for us to desire our spouse, but the expectation that we need to demand that. And so we should be able to do that for another person because God loved us, we love each other, and our relationship, our union is such like that. But we have this expectation that just because we've had sex with our spouse a couple different times last week, that this week it should be the same exact way. And he goes and does a whole pendulum swing of saying what happens if your spouse is disabled, should you expect something like that? And but for me, the takeaway with all of that was looking at the idea of we need to have an expectation with ourselves that we are not willing to go beyond our own values within Christ, and looking at how that is for our marriage as well. And so that was a really wonderful takeaway, and something that I feel like I can apply just to my entire life, my friends, my work, everything that goes with that. So I'd love to hear what you guys have to say on that, but that was a really profound thing for me. If you've actually read any of his books, leave a comment down below and tell me what you think. If you haven't read that, I'd love for you guys to jump on and kind of just do a quick read through and let me know what you think, because I'm almost finished with that. I'm about halfway, but with a 1 hour commute each way, I think that I'm going to be getting through it pretty quick. So love to hear what you guys have to say on that. Thanks.